Hello, I'm WP Suazo and I want to talk to you about the average cost graph in pure competition. You'll probably need to pause this video to take a look at this graph here. What we have here on the left is the average cost graph. It's something that befuddles students each semester, so let me try to guide you through it as best as I can. This line here is marginal cost, and what it shows is the cost incurred by the last unit out the door. The last unit made is marginal cost. This low U-shaped curve here is average variable cost. These are the costs per unit incurred by being up in operation, by being busy. This is variable cost divided by quantity. This is essentially ignoring the fixed costs or the startup costs or the sunk costs, whatever you want to call them. Ignoring the fixed costs, taking whatever costs are generated by being in production and dividing it by quantity. So this is variable cost per unit or average variable cost. And this higher U-shaped cost curve is average total cost. So we have those curves there. Along the bottom here we have quantities. And along this side up and down we have dollar values. Now, how does competition work? Competition works by there being many competitors, and the marketplace says, today what you do for a living is worth yay amount of dollars. So the market just throws down a price and the competitors have to live with it. So what about starting off with the super generous price of $40? If the price is $40 for today, here's what happens, $40. So taking a look at 40Q. When we make the 40th unit, to make the 40th unit costs us $4 more, but we're getting paid $40. So the 40th unit is a good idea. If we make 60, the 60th unit costs us $10. By making number 60, it adds $10 in cost. We're getting paid $40 for each one we make, so we keep on going. At 80, the 80th unit brings $27 in costs. We're getting paid $40. If you look here at 120, the 120th unit costs us $40 more, and we're getting paid $40 more. So if the price is 40, Q star, or the best quantity, is 120. If we were to go beyond 120 units, this marginal cost would be 41, 42, 43, something greater than 40. So the 121st unit or units beyond that would be loser units. They would take away from this operation. So the 120th unit is the last unit that we can justify where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Okay, let's fill in this other information here. So 120 quantity, which is right here. What is ATC? ATC is right here at $28. So it costs us $28 a piece. To make 120 units, we're being paid 40. So our profit per unit is 12. We make $12 120 times. So I know 12 times 12 is 144. Add the 0. So we will have a profit of $1,440 if the price prevails at $40 a unit. That is a profitable period. That is a profitable time to be a manufacturer of this product, whatever it is. Such profits, though, will lure in competitors, and those competitors will drive down price. Okay. What happens if price soon falls all the way down to 10? Well, taking a look here. The 40th unit costs us $4, and we're getting paid $10. So making 40 units would pay for itself. Okay. At 60, the 60th unit costs us $10, and we're getting paid 10. The prevailing price now is 10. So we could barely justify this last 60th unit. If we were to go beyond that, as you see here, the 61st, the 62nd, and forward from there would cost us more than $10 a piece. So the 61st unit would be a mistake, and any units after that. So our Q star at price 10 is 60. Our best quantity is 60. However, to make 60, what is our cost per unit in totality? What is our ATC? Our ATC at 60Q is 30. So I am getting paid $10 what cost me 30. I'm getting paid $10 what cost me 30. I'm losing $20 a piece 60 times. Wow. 2 times 6 is 12. And that's a loss, add the zeros. So I'm losing $1,200. So right here, at price of 10, all the monies that I collect go to offset variable cost, or price exactly equals average variable cost at 10. I'll write that. I'll say price equals average variable cost. I have nothing to offset fixed costs. So here my loss equals fixed cost, and that is my maximum loss. I will not lose more than fixed costs, because if I shut down, my variable cost becomes 0, and I only lose fixed costs. So I'll write that here. If I shut down, which is always an option, in the short run, I can do nothing about my fixed costs, but I can shut down, and when I shut down, 0 equals my variable cost and my total revenue. My loss will equal fixed cost. So I am never going to operate at a loss greater than fixed cost. Okay, let's put that to the test. Let's say price falls even further, down to $4. Look what's happening at $4. At $4 a unit, I could justify 10, 20, 30 quantity, but at 40 quantity, that's where things stop. The 40th unit cost me $4. I'm only getting paid $4. I cannot justify a 41st or 42nd or greater unit. So at $4, my Q star is 40. However, alarm bells ought to be ringing, because look at this here. At $4, my best operating quantity is 40, but just my variable costs alone per unit are 11. So this is a business, say, where I'm offering you $4 a unit, and it's costing you $11 for the things you have to bring in to make these 40 units, not including, of course, the fixed costs, which are the resources waiting for you. So this is going to be a big loser. This is going to be a loss that's greater than fixed costs. So if we learn the hard way, let us go ahead and see. So what is ATC at quantity 40? Having this company so underutilized, making so few units, our ATC is a whopping $41. I know that. The graph is cluttered up there. So I am going to lose $37 40 times. I'm going to lose $37 40 times. 37 is pretty close to 40. So my loss here is going to be in the neighborhood of $1,600, right? I'm going to lose almost $1,600. I'm going to lose technically $1,600 minus 120, which is going to be $1,580. So I'm going to lose, pardon me, $1,480. So I'm going to have a loss that's going to equal $1,480. And why would I lose $1,480 when I could shut down and have a loss that equals fixed cost? So at price of 4, I ought to shut down. So this right here, I'll put a light cross through it. We ought to shut down. And as a matter of fact, any price that is below ABC at Q star will provoke a shutdown. We need to be able to pay for the resources that we have to muster, that we have to bring in. Okay, what about 18, price of 18? We don't have a juncture here, but we know that at 18, we know that our Q star is somewhere between 60 and 80. We know that at 18, our Q star is somewhere between 60 and 80. If 18 is the prevailing price, our Q star is somewhere between 60 and 80. And we know that our ATC is somewhere between 28 and 27. Where do I get that from? Well, here's 18. Here's my marginal cost. I follow it to it hits marginal revenue right there. So it looks like about 70. And it looks like our ATC is 27.50 or somewhere between 28 and 27. So I'll be losing roughly about $10 a piece. I'll be losing roughly about $10 a piece. And one correction you have to make to all of your notes. I'm losing money here. I'm losing money here because cost is greater than price. Cost is greater than price. I'm losing money here. This is the only place where I'm profitable. Price of 40. So I'm going to lose $10 about 70 times, so I'll have a loss that's roughly equal to 700. And I'd rather operate and keep my company alive. That's a zero with a slash through it. I'd rather operate, keep my company alive, lose 700 rather than shut down and lose 1,200. Okay, so what does all of this competition show us? What this is a process to try to find what is the fair price. And the fair price in the long run is one that covers all of our costs. So where does price equal ATC? Here's ATC. And ATC can be many things, but one thing that competition does, it forces companies to operate at the cheapest place possible. So right here, this would be the long run outcome. So at price of 27, each company would make 80 units, and they would have no uncovered costs. They would have no extra monies. So the profit apiece would be zero. The overall profit would be zero. In economics, we call that a normal profit. Every conceivable cost covered. I know to accountants, they look at or financiers, they look at a zero profit and say, how could that be normal? There has to be some kind of profit. But economists include every cost conceivable. So if an economist has a profit, you could think of that as some kind of leftover monies or slush funds. So this is how we take an average cost graph and apply different prices to it to get the various scenarios. So our $40 price provoked a positive profit. The $10 price brought about our maximum operating loss. The $4 price, if we accepted it, would result in an operating loss greater than fixed cost. So the $4 price being underneath AVC provokes a shutdown. The $18 price would cause a loss, but one smaller than fixed cost. And the long run fair price is $27. That results in no profits, no losses. Profits cause or attract entrants. Losses cause competitors to drop out. The only price that could bring about stability to this graph would be the $27 long run fair price. Zero profit, normal profit is the only outcome that can provide stability to a market. I hope that this has cleared up things for you, and thanks for watching.